Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at NIO. NIO expects to deliver between 51,000 and 54,000 EVs in November plus December. That would be incredible. So that would definitely range it between 25 to 26,000 EVs individual months. That's going to be massive for NIO. So we're looking forward to that for sure. NIO reported its third quarter earnings on Wednesday, falling short of analysts' consensus estimate for both revenue and earning per share. Revenue came in at 18.57 billion wons. That's below the expected 19.05 billion wons. While the EPS was 2.14 wons, missing the consensus estimate of 1.92 wons. For the fourth quarter of the year, the EV maker said it expects total revenue to increase between 15 to 19.2%, ranging between 2.8 billion and 2.9 billion dollars. Between July and September, the EV maker delivered 61,855 vehicles, and that's an 11.6% year-over-year growth increase. This is meeting the guidance of 61,000 to 63,000 units provided during the second quarterly earnings call. The Shanghai-based headquarter company stated on Wednesday that it estimated deliveries between 72 to 75,000 units this quarter. That's in Q4. So that's October, November, December. We've already done with October. We're almost at the end of November, and next we've got December. So this could end up being the biggest quarter for NIO in its entire existence, in its entire history. Last quarter was that. That was Q3. So since Q2, Q3, and now Q4, they're just continuously breaking record. And you can see based on this graphics that is provided by the EV blog, thanks to Alfonso, this is his data right here. You can see just the incredible growth this company has had this year. And like I said, I remember Q1 2024 this year, the consensus was unfavorable for NIO because they had a tricky start to the start of the year. Deliveries were not looking promising. But I remember reiterating to people, be patient with this brand because this is just the start of the year. They're going to continue climbing throughout the entirety of this year. And they've done that continuously. I think for the last 5 or 6 months, they've delivered over 20,000 vehicles continually each month. That is impressive. So if they can do this well this year, imagine how well they can do next year in 2025 to 2026. So while there's a lot of criticism towards NIO that they're not profitable yet, they haven't done anything for the investors, they're doing a lot for the investors by building a company for me and you. If you're an investor and you've never worked for the company, they're building this company for us. Yeah, they're doing a lot for the investors. I don't know what else people want. It's like people expected to invest in this company and get some profit after a year or two. What is wrong with you? Go invest in Apple. Not financial advice, but it's a rhetorical. How quickly did you expect this company to develop? Looked at how long it took Tesla to develop. Tesla began in 2003. That's over 21 years now. Tesla's older than a lot of adults. Okay? So think about that for a minute. Tesla's been around for a long time. And when Tesla started shipping the Model S, they've been doing that and the Model X for a while to develop that efficiency. And Tesla had America on their side. They're a USA company, which means that they're in favorable position to be anywhere in the world they want to be. NIO being a Chinese company, a lot of countries don't want them. Europe is not friendly with China right now. Europe is not particularly friendly with EV Chinese companies because Europe wants to protect its own companies. Germany wants to protect its own companies. France wants to protect its own companies. The US wants to protect its own companies. So letting in the Chinese companies who are dominating the EV world, it's not for good business for the US or for Europe. So why is NIO slow to adopt, slow to gain margins, market share? It's a difficult time. There's a lot of tariffs that are being introduced on these companies so that they slow down, so they don't grow as fast. So yeah, they're blaming NIO, but what can NIO do? Can they force their way into the EU without the tariffs? No, they can't. There is legalities to consider. So a lot of people are investing in these companies, and I'm not even sure if you know what you're investing in for. You're investing for no good reason. It's quite interesting. But you're wasting your time if you're investing in these companies and thinking it's just going to make you a quick profit. That's not the philosophy. That's not the end game. That's not the end objective. But one of the great things about NIO is that they're introducing new car brands. They've introduced Onvo recently, and you can clearly see from September to October, it's gradually growing. So it's becoming a big part of the NIO's segment of building and delivering vehicles. And it's just incredible to see how well they've done that. Next year, they're introducing the Firefly vehicle. The official name is not Firefly, but that's the code name for now. But they're introducing two other brands, so imagine how well they'll be doing in 5 years' time. Now, I don't know how they're going to navigate the tariffs situation. They haven't left the negotiation table. They're still negotiating and they will continue negotiating until there is no other option. This is in order to get the best deal for these brands, for these Chinese brands, and the best deal for the European economy as well. I believe the ultimate goal is to build more factories in Europe. I think that's the ultimate goal for these Chinese companies. So NIO sub-brand Onvo registered 1,020 vehicles in China between November the 11th and 17th. Data from new energy vehicle maker Li Auto showed earlier this week. As of this time of writing, NIO shares are trading at 4.7% lower at $4.41 during the pre-market trading hours. And year to date, the stock has lost roughly around 50% of its value. So a lot of people who invested into NIO when it was like $15, $20, $25, those people are really unhappy at the moment, but you took the risk. You did take the risk. Now you have to take responsibility for your decisions. How else are you going to learn? Are you going to make that same mistake with another company? I hear Palantir is doing good. The stock price is really high. Are you just going to invest in that company and expecting it to 10x? No, it will always has an opportunity to go down. It always have an opportunity to go up. But to inflate a balloon, you need some strength. But to deflate a balloon, it's easier than to inflate a balloon. So think about that. It's easier to go down than it is to go up. Think about that. So when you're investing in these companies, know what you're investing in. Your capital is always at risk. So Onvo President Alan Hay has recently reaffirmed the company's goal of delivering over 10,000 units in December and exceeding 20,000 by March next year, adding that if these goals are not met, he will step down. Damn. That's a bold statement. That is a bold statement. That is a bold statement. I like that. So let's take a look at culture because, like I said, people are complaining about their stocks being in this company and they're not happy with how the company is doing things. If you're not happy with how the company is doing things, why did you invest initially? Because what NIO is doing now, we knew that they were going to do this. There's no surprise. They didn't mislead us. We weren't misled. We knew what was going on. We knew it would be a difficult road. But hey, it's like some people want to enjoy the view, but they don't want to do the climb. Listen, with this company, you're going to have to do some climbing. Yes, the dilution of shares have been going up, but that's also expected as well because you knew coming into this company, even from Q4 2020, 1.42 billion shares outstanding, but you knew they had to raise more money. You knew they had to provide more funding to keep the business going. How else are you going to do that unless you gain more investors? So that's always something that when you're investing in a company that's essentially, working at capital deficit, you always have to consider that this company, the share outstanding could change drastically in order to somehow improve the financial stability of the company. We always knew that this was a thing, but you can see free cash flow non-existent. The earnings before interest tax, that's in the negative as well. But you can expect that for another few years. This is why I tell people, for me at least, I'm looking at 10, 20 years for NIO. I'm investing for the long run. And a lot of investors or a lot of people in the comments, they replied being surprised or shocked. You gotta wait 10 years? What? And it's like, what's wrong with waiting 10 years? You do realize that if you're 30, you're gonna be 40, regardless if you want to or not. So if you have no control over time, why not just use it to your best advantage by simply holding? doing what Warren Buffett does. Warren Buffett has proven that just investing in good companies and holding your nerves, not being emotional, not making irrational decisions, just trusting the process tends to work. So if you don't trust NIO, if you don't trust their process, then why are you in the company? But if I invest in Apple or Tesla and I trust the process, I can leave my money there for 10, 20 years without being worried. That's the company you should invest in. Warren Buffett says if he's investing in company, he thinks to himself, if he buys a stock, bought Apple, he bought Apple a while ago. Was that 2015, 2016? If the stock market closed for like 5 to 10 years, would he worry? Warren Buffett, he makes great decisions. That's the point. If you think you might have to worry, then clearly it's not the best decision. So I don't know what people are doing buying NIO stocks if you're not confident in a company. Perhaps you shouldn't buy the stock. Not financial advice, but it's just my blunt, honest opinion. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. But I think from 2021, 2020, but I think from 2021, 2022, the EV craze was huge. The stock prices were going through the roof. So a lot of people were overconfident in these companies. Just look at 2021. Just look at 2021 NIO stock price, $62. So if you bought at $62, you probably think, yeah, it's probably going to go to $100 next year, then $150 the year after that, then $200 after the year after that. And to see it go down to like $4, it must be really painful. Did you ever thought when it was at $61 that it might have been overvalued? Because I'll tell you one thing. When I first saw the Rivian company, they went public. I immediately thought, I'm not buying that stock for $90. I'm not buying it for $80. I'm not buying it for $60. I'm not buying it for $30. I'm going to wait until it hits $10. And that's where I bought Rivian, $10, because that was more reasonable. That felt like it was at fair price. The price of the company was fair. So right now it's $10 and the market cap is 8.9 billion. That makes a lot more sense for me to invest my money into. Because at their best, last year in Q3, they were making 1.3 billion. Q4, 1.3 billion. So they can accomplish a few billion a year in revenue, no doubt. This year they've been a little bit slow on that, but they can accomplish great things in terms of their income. They're cutting down on expenses, however. So you can see cash flow is slowly moving away from 1.8 billion minus to around 1.1 billion minus. So they are making some changes to improve the management of the money in the company efficiently. But that's just it. I wouldn't have bought this stock at $60. I wouldn't have even bought it at $30 because I knew it was overpriced. So if you're buying overpriced stock just based on FOMO, fear of missing out, or just, I don't know why, but it's illogical. So this is why I wanted to just talk about the NIO stock, just to say that I hear a lot of people complaining, but honestly, I don't know what you're complaining about. I really don't. I don't get it. Maybe it's because I see it from a different perspective, because I'm buying cheap. I would have never bought NIO at $15. I would have waited until around $10. We're below $10 just to be reasonable. And even $10, you could argue fair value-ish, but you can still see it still lose 50%. So that's always possible. So thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you in our next video. Remember, your capital is always at risk when you invest. So invest wisely and seek professional financial advice before investing instead of blaming it all on NIO. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in our next video. Peace.